have kids, do not eat at this restaurant because I just got charged a $50 Unruly children fee. I have never heard of this happening before. We were having a normal dinner with our 2 kids, and then all of a sudden we were slapped with a fine. They did call me and leave a voicemail, so listen to this and tell me if I was in the wrong or not.
As 2025 comes to a close, more and more people in America are starting to eat at home, cook in their own kitchen, because eating out is so expensive, it's become a luxury. And now restaurants are tacking on hidden fees, surcharges, service fees, and junk fees, which make it even worse. Today, we're gonna see some of the worst examples of those fees that I've seen on the internet in a long time. So come along, buckle up, and let's take a look. Yeah, welcome back in the channel, everybody. We're gonna see people that went out to restaurants and seen service fees and junk fees and all kinds of hidden charges pop up on their tabs before they've even left a tip, before they've even finished paying. And these are the reasons why restaurants are running themselves into the ground. It's why more people are eating at home, myself included, not only because some people can't afford it, but because some people just refuse to afford it. Even if they have the money, they refuse to pay these absolutely ridiculous service and junk fees, which are only tacked on for the restaurant to make more money for greed. A lot of them will say it's because of inflation and expenses. You raise the cost of your food, you don't tack on these fees. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. But let's jump into some of these tabs and see what people are talking about. And it's all over the country. It's not just in California or Florida or New York. It's everywhere. You're going to see that in just a second. Here we go.
Let's get into all these fees we paid at this restaurant. And before we all start, no, we not broke. I just want to talk about these fees. All right, we got a $44 service charge, $11.75 state tax, $4.41 city tax, $8.81 county tax. And then if you don't pay with cash, you have to pay basically $11 more.
Okay, so let's break this down. Her tab here was a subtotal, looks like $293.82, but before the service charge was around $249. And they added this 44% service charge. What is a service charge on $293? And then you're adding in another 11 in state tax, and it looks like I see ATL, so this may be Georgia. Can somebody from Georgia confirm this? It looks like that might be ATL. And then a city tax of $4.41, and then a county tax. So you're paying a total here of 12 and 11 is 23, $24 plus that ATL, TSP, LOSTTI. I don't even know what that is. That's $26, which is how it went from $293 up to $319. And then the card total, if she's using a card, adds another $11, which is what, like another 3.5%? So her bill before all those taxes, before that credit card fee, and before that service charge was like $240, and it came up to $330, and nowhere on it is a gratuity or tip, unless that is the service charge. If that is, then so be it. But some of these places will hand it to you and go, oh, this all doesn't include the tip. How are you going to go from a $249 bill to a $330 tab? This is, the tip culture in this country is unrelenting, and it's absolutely un-American. It's ridiculous. We need to go to the way the Europeans do it. Do you guys agree? Next, we're going to see Norman Chad. He's out of the poker world, but he is a big Vegas person. He covers all these stories, and Vegas is the worst offender, I think, worse than LA and Miami and New York combined, where they add all of these fees. Wait till you see what they're charging customers for now. 2 things that are insane. Norman covers this perfectly.
Let's talk a moment about MGM Resorts, which owns 10 casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. MGM Resorts was the first to start charging for parking on the Strip, and almost everyone else followed. MGM Resorts, as we told you earlier this year, is moving to quote-unquote tiered restaurant seating, which means customers sitting in preferred spots in their restaurants, say a window table, will pay an extra charge. Which leads us to MGM Resorts' latest innovation for profit. And don't say I did not warn you. Don't say I didn't predict this. Just take a look at what I said. Why stop it at premium seating? Why not adopt Spirit Airlines a la carte pricing model? You want chairs with backs instead of stools? $5. You want real plates instead of paper plates? $5. You want a fork and a knife with a napkin? $5. Yes, my friends, MGM Resorts now charges guests ordering room service for silverware, glassware, and cloth napkins, according to Vital Vegas. So now, say at Bellagio, they give you 2 room service options. There is takeout service, a new required $10 added to the room charge for getting your food delivered in takeout boxes with plastic lids. And then there is classic service. For $25, you get your food delivered as it always was: silverware, plates, glasses, and cloth napkins. They call this, quote unquote, a truly refined experience. I call it extorting $25 out of people for a fork and a knife. At this point, do you really think pay toilets in every hotel in Las Vegas is that far of a stretch?
What? Are you kidding me? First of all, if I'm ordering room service and I'm paying, which is already expensive, if you've never been to Vegas, room service is not cheap. You're immediately forcing me to pay $10 minimum just to have some plasticware to be able to eat my food with. Otherwise, what do you want me to do? You want me to just eat it with my hands? No, you don't give me that option because you know that's ridiculous. So you forced me to pay $10. Oh, well, okay, room service, I'm gonna order a chicken breast and some vegetables, or maybe a steak and some vegetables, or something I just wanna eat in, right? Well, I can't cut that with plasticware. I need cutlery, I need a knife, I need silverware, a steak knife. Oh, that's $25 to eat the $50 steak we just delivered to your door. Vegas is killing themselves. For anybody who thinks that Vegas being down 10%, 11%, 440,000 less people this year in 2025 than 2024 is any bit of a coincidence, it's not. All these fees are eating Vegas alive, and they are going to collapse under their own weight, cannibalism, because they, like he said, MGM owns 10 of the largest casinos on the Strip. You got MGM and Bellagio, you got the MGM Park, I think they own Mandalay Bay as well? They own all these big resorts, and that's half the Strip. It just doesn't make sense. You can't nickel and dime people to death. Otherwise, they'll stop coming. This next one's one of my favorites. It's a kitchen fee. The also famous kitchen fee.
You know what the worst thing is after a wonderful night is when you get charged a kitchen fee. 4% kitchen fee. What the fuck is that? Here we go again. So this happened again here in California in Santa Monica. Had a great night. We were celebrating. The food was great. We had no idea that so many things. So we ordered 2 shots of tequila, and we were like, oh, house tequila is fine. We got charged $36 for 2 shots. What the F?
Yikes. House tequila at my local Lagoon bar, I think is $5 or $6 for a single. You can get the top tier stuff. So that was 18 a piece. You can get top stuff like Patron and Casamigos and some other like Terramana for like 15 at my Lagoon bar. They got charged for Corazon Reposado, which is a lower end brand, $18. I guess it's location, man. Santa Monica, you get what you pay for, right?
And then not only that, that's like $18 a shot. Not to mention the kitchen fee, 4%. I mean, the food was good and all, but like, come on. Like, why do you do that? No one even informed us about this. And then as soon as the check arrives, they come with like the actual machine, and they make you like select the tip option right away. And the lowest tip option is 20%, 22%, 25%. I mean, that's okay. But like, if 20% is like the minimum you guys require on top of the 4% and the tax that you added on top of that, and the $18 shot, I wasn't happy about that. But we had such a great night, but that just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, and that's the problem. People go and they suck it up, they pay it, but they won't go back. The other thing is, at least here in Florida, I don't know about the laws in California or other states. Maybe somebody can chime in down below if you live in California, or if you live in another state that's similar to mine here in Florida. Florida passed a law that went live July 1st of 2025, so just a couple months ago. Our Governor DeSantis actually pushed this through, that any restaurant that has a fee outside of your food and what is on your order, whatever you eat or drink, has to be disclosed on the menu and it has to be disclosed at every bar, like if you're a normal bar stool setting, and it has to be displayed at the front door, any entrances to the restaurant. So if they're gonna charge a 4% kitchen fee, that has to be advertised. My local lagoon charges like a 1.5% venue fee, which is ridiculous because we pay a fee to live here monthly to have unlimited access to it over the normal non-residents that have to pay to get in every time. And they do not advertise it anywhere. I don't even know if they're aware that they're supposed to. I've told the newer GM who's only been there a few months, and it's still not there. They're technically breaking the law. If there's any kind of fee, service fee, surcharge, kitchen fee, health insurance fee, which you're gonna see in this video in a minute, it has to be advertised, at least here in Florida. Is that true anywhere else in any of the other states? Has that law passed? All right, we covered one of these fees out of, I think, like Michigan or Tennessee or somewhere, and it's a kid fee, an unruly kid fee. But I've actually got evidence from this girl here that shows she got hit with it for her kids not behaving in a restaurant. This one's gonna stir up a bunch of trouble. Do you agree with this restaurant charging it, or do you think they're absolutely insane for hitting somebody with what is a misbehaved kid fee at a restaurant? This is the second time I've seen this now.
If you have kids, do not eat at this restaurant because I just got charged a $50 unruly children fee. I have never heard of this happening before. We were having a normal dinner with our 2 kids, and then all of a sudden we were slapped with a fine. They did call me and leave a voicemail, so listen to this and tell me if I was in the wrong or not.
Hi, this is Alex calling from Elysian Table in Seattle. I was returning your request for a manager to call you regarding the unruly children fee. Your children were listening to their iPads at a loud volume, which was ruining the ambiance for other guests that we had at the time. Your children were also walking around the restaurant on their own without their shoes, and they were also eating their food with their hands instead of using the proper utensils. We want to make sure that this is an enjoyable experience for all of our guests, so the unruly children fee will not be removed from your bill. If you would like, we can pull our security camera footage and show you what we were talking about. We request that you do not return to our restaurant at this time. If you have further questions, you can call me back.
Yikes. So this one is a little questionable whether that was actually the manager or not, but this is true. There are restaurants all over this country that advertise this. People have taken photos of the menu. They've taken photos of bills where they've been charged it, where if your kids are running around or listening to stuff loudly or just being obnoxious, I've seen everything from a $25 fee to a $50 to a $99 fee. I saw at one of these videos of people taking a picture of the menu. And, you know, at a super fancy place, I get it. Kids are going to be kids, but there's some places you just shouldn't take kids if it's a really upscale, nice place. And if you do take them, make sure your kids are behaved. I don't totally disagree with the kid bill. If your kids are really being bad, maybe you deserve to pay for it, right? So one of the constants that we keep seeing here is that people are not wanting to pay these fees, and if they do pay these fees, they're lowering their tip amounts, how much their tips go down. Like if, for example, you have a $100 bill and they tack on a 5% service charge, an extra $5, so you pay $105 and people were gonna tip 20. So instead of giving them 20, now they're giving a tip of $15. So it's just hurting the waiters and waitresses. But where we go over the line is the person at Starbucks that they turn that iPad, you know, hi, would you like to tip? Here you go, right? And then they flip it back and they literally have done nothing but go, here's your latte. This lady has a good opinion with her friend here about that whole situation. Let's take a look.
I'm not tipping you for my $10 latte. I'm not tipping you. The tip is included.
Tip's included.
The tip is included.
If I'm ordering with you and you're handing it to me and we're not going anywhere, flip that iPad around.
Flip that shit around.
And don't make me hit no tip.
I hit no tip.
I hit no tip. I just like to be quick about it.
I'm not tipping shit. Not in Trump's America.
Here's a tip. Vote.
Yikes. So they go a little political aisle there. I don't think that's a political thing there. I don't care who the president is, the tipping thing. This is just I'm not tipping you to hand me a drink. I don't care if you had to mix it up in the little blender and do all that and hand it to me. You didn't serve me dinner for an hour. Why would I tip you $3 or $4? Why? I will do it occasionally. I have gone into places and gotten, go to Starbucks for a couple people that are here and like, hey, let me get everyone drinks real quick. 3 or 4 Starbucks, all of a sudden it's $8 a piece. We spend $30. and I go in there and they're like, oh, flip it around, a tip, 15, 20, 25, custom tip. I'll go, custom tip, $2. Like, hey, thanks. You guys made 4 drinks. I appreciate it. Here's $2, right? I'm not trying to be cheap, but I'm also not trying to tip $2 at every single transaction all over town that I'm just being handed something. It's really out of control.
Like, do I need to bring my own container now when I get a takeout order? I gotta bring my own bag, my own container, and make sure that it's not hidden in the bill, because this is what happened. Costs of things are getting out of control. Aside from everybody needing a tip, now during takeout, this woman wanted to charge me $1 for the takeout container. So she's showing me the bill, and I'm like, what is that $1 for? Oh, that's for the takeout container, the bag, and the silverware. I said, I don't want that. I said, I want the sandwich, and I want it maybe wrapped in foil. Like, before you gave that to me without charging me $1, and if you're gonna charge me for it, put it in the price. I don't want to see it, because if I see it, I'm gonna lose my shit. What I also thought was weird is I ordered a sandwich, it was $13.99, and she goes, okay, I'll be right back. Where are you going? She goes, I gotta go figure it out in the back. What? $13.99 plus tax. I think you have a calculator right in front of you. What am I missing? So as consumers, I think we need to start pushing back. We need to say something. So I said something, she took it off. You gotta say something, because this is getting out of control.
Yeah, I agree with her 100%. The sooner we push back against all this tipping, here's my thought. Here's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, whole tipping culture thought. Every single business, as a business owner, and I understand this, tries to find a way to squeeze profit. Not that you're squeezing your customers, but you're trying to be as profitable as you can, right? So people will pad the shipping. If I'm shipping you, I don't know, this bag here with microphones in it, and it costs $6 to ship it. The real cost is $6. I might charge you $6.50 or $7 because I got material, I got handling, I got time. I'm trying to get that little extra money to make sure I'm profitable, right? If I'm serving you food, part of that service, so that food is serving you food. That's the business. They're trying to pad it with this service fee. They're trying to pad it by getting an extra $1 on a to-go container, or $5 on forks and knives, like we heard about in Vegas, $10 earlier in the video. They're trying to find every single thing that they provide you and then putting a cost on providing that to you. Vegas says we have a cost associated with plastic silverware, plasticware. We're going to charge $10 when it costs you 10 cents. We have a cost of cleaning your silverware and your knives. Or we have a dishwasher, we have to pay him, so we need to charge you for that. These people say, well, our to-go containers have a cost. Well, right, that's a cost of doing business. And back in the day, here's my tinfoil hat. Back in the day, the credit card fees, the to-go containers, the forks and knives, everything was just a cost of owning a business and running a restaurant. Now, the restaurant owners and the business owners have said, we're not going to pay for that anymore. We can make the consumers pay for it, and if a whole bunch of us, if most of us start doing this all over town, what are they going to do? They're going to all stop eating? They're going to all stop going out to eat? No, they're not going to stop going out to eat. They'll still go and they'll just suck it up and be angry. The only way this stops is when we say enough. How did COVID stop? How did the masks? How did walking the opposite direction in grocery stores stop? Because enough people finally said, that's enough. Imagine spending $700 on a restaurant tab and finding out you got charged over $100 for a service fee. What would you tip? If you already hit with that service fee, how much would you tip? Listen to what this guy did.
I want y'all to look at this and tell me what you think. This dude went out to a restaurant. The bill was $704, right? The restaurant added a service charge of $108. I don't know what a service charge is. I don't know what that is. At first I was thinking that it was something like a tip, to tip the server, but then this dude asks, is a $5 tip disrespectful or totally fair? You're not about to charge me a $108 service fee and still get a tip. You're not getting a tip. What is a service charge? I'm sure there's somebody watching this who is either currently working or has worked in the food industry, in the restaurant industry. What's a service charge and how is it different from getting a tip? And why on the Lord's green earth is it $108? I'm sorry, but if I go out to eat and my bill is already $704, and then on top of that you add $108 service charge, not only are you not getting a tip, but I'm stealing some silverware. I'm stealing some plates. I'm stealing something.
So let's go back and take a look at this tab because he only shows it for a quick second, but there it is. And so we can see that the food was $528, which looks right. They have a 200, a 100, 150, so $3, $450, a $50, that's 500. Yeah, $528. They had $12 for cocktails. They only had 2 drinks. And their service charge was $108. So that $530, it was $540 for what they ate and drank. They added $108 to it, which is what, 20% almost, 18%? They added 18%. And then the tax. So that's how they got to $704. It was not $704 plus the $108. It was about $540 plus taxes would have been about $580, $590, right? And then the $108 puts it to $690, $704. That's how they got there. I believe that 18% $108 is what they do for the gratuity, the tip. They should have clarified that though, but he's right. $108 on something that only originally cost me $540, even with tax cost me under $600, and now you want me to pay $704? I'm not giving you another $120, $140 on top of that. Forget it. And if that service charge goes to the restaurant, the waiters and waitresses, you're like, well, you're just screwing them. Well, then they should go work for a better establishment. That's my thoughts. All right, I'm gonna close this video out with one of our favorite friends and favorite streamers and YouTube content creators over on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you watch your social media. Of course, it is Lindy Glenn. You guys should know who she is. Make sure if you're on TikTok, you are under the right account because there's about 10 people who are imitating. It's really the Wild West on TikTok. It's crazy. If you're watching any of this from there, you'll know that. But the actual account over there is what you see on my screen. It's at Lindy Uncensored. Anything else is not the real account. It's a fake. Report them. But this one is about somebody going to a Mexican restaurant getting charged one of those service fees, and it is the same story over and over no matter where you go. Check her out.
I'm at a Mexican restaurant having some lunch, and the receipt comes out, and they say it's a service fee for serving the customer. Now this right here gonna take the fee. Okay, so I'm down now, and the receipt says service fee for serving the customer. What's a service fee for serving the customer? What is that?
So now they're saying that a service fee is for serving the customer. Then what is the tip for? Is that like a shady way of saying that it's a living wage fee? So is that service fee the money that the restaurant is going to use to pay the server's wages? And then of course you tip on top of that? Because it's not the tip, it's a service fee.
Bingo! This is the greedy restaurants bringing in this fee. So I'll give you another example. When you go to my local Lagoon bar that's built into my neighborhood, they have a VIP section that guests and residents and non-residents can pay to have a private experience in cabanas and a separate section, and they have their own bartender and their own food runner. If you are over there, in addition to paying to go there, to renting the cabana, to renting the special chairs, to renting the pool area, whatever, you pay on any food and alcohol a 23% VIP service charge. That service charge, I don't know exactly how it's split up, like 5%, 7%, 5%, goes to the food runner who goes and gets your food. In the normal section, you have to get your own food. You go in a cafe, get your food. But in the VIP section, they will bring your food to you. So the 5% or 7% goes to the people who run your food. Even if you don't order food, right? If you just order drinks, you're still paying 23%. If you just order food, you're paying 23%. And then part of that goes to the Lagoon. They keep I think they keep 10 and they give like 8% to the food runner and then 5% goes to the actual bartender. Well, everyone sees this 23% service charge for serving you in VIP and they're like, well, I spent $100 on a couple of meals and a couple drinks and now you charge me 23 bucks. My tab's now 123 plus tax. I'm not giving you any more money. That's it. And now the bartender gets screwed because they only get a very small percentage of that 5%, if much of anything. Now, instead of getting what they normally would have got, a $20 tip on this tab, they're only getting $5 because the food runner, you may not even ordered food. What if you went in there and ordered $100 worth of drinks? You were just there drinking. You already ate before you came, right? And now you have a $23 tack on charge and you're like, I'm not tipping anything else. Well, the food runner doesn't get anything because the food runner, never brought you food. They didn't do anything. So they're getting a piece of that pie for not even doing anything and the bartender's suffering. And this is the point a lot of people are making is it is not okay to just tack on charges. People will stop coming. They will stop tipping your wait staff and your bartenders and those people will quit. You'll lose good service, which then causes you to lose more customers because you have crappy service with people that aren't any good because your good employees left because they're getting screwed. All of this is circular. This has got to end. The tipping culture in this country has to end. Restaurateurs say they can't afford to pay people a living wage. They have to charge more for the food. And if they charge more for the food, people won't come. I think they will. I think if they don't have to pay a tip and they know that, it works in Europe, it works in the rest of the world. Why can't it work here? What are the problems? What are the hangups? I don't know. It's wild out there. It's tough when I go out. It's just a part of life. You tip. But man, it would be so much better to have it so much cleaner and easier filled out. As always, I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you do go follow. I'll link her social medias down below. You can go check those out. Make sure you guys check out all of the clips, everything in the description box. My Instagram, TikTok, Facebook are all there. If you follow me, I'll follow back as many people as I can. I'm going to go on a following spree in just a few minutes when I get comfortable later and scroll my phone. And Amazon's hidden deals all through Christmas holiday shopping through 2025 and 2026. There is an awesome link to Amazon's hidden coupons, deals, and everything. It's an affiliate link. It supports me, so I appreciate. If you're going to go shopping on Amazon anyways, please use that link first, no matter what you shop for. It will help and it will count for me. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, come back and watch me for future content all week and month long. I will see you guys in the next one.